Number two, perception of uniqueness. Identify your strengths and know what they are so you can play to them. And this leads to number two in your playbook. You must create a perception of uniqueness. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, you do not want to be a face in the crowd. You don't want to be a robot. You do not want to be an interchangeable person in a relationship. At your job, anywhere, if you're just a random person, that yes person, this person can be here again, another person can be here. I didn't make much difference there. A lot of jobs are like that. Jobs that, well, anybody can do. It just doesn't really matter who does it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not for you. If you want to improve your life, you have to create a perception of uniqueness. And I'm saying perception of uniqueness because it doesn't do any good to be unique if people don't perceive that you're unique. You've got to make sure they recognize your uniqueness. You may have some unique skill, but if nobody knows it but you, what good is it? So you have to decide unique. What is it about you? You don't want to just be in the middle of the herd. You don't want to blend into the background. If you want to be a winner, you need to find, embrace, and project those things that set you apart from the herd, set you apart from everything and everyone else. Uniqueness is valuable in so many different respects. And I'm one of those people that believes in a defined product. A defined product. You cannot be all things to all people. I think you have to be a defined product. People need to know what they get when they get you. I have subscribed to this philosophy my entire life, including right now. When I say to you right now, Dr. Phil, what comes to mind? Just think about that. What calls to mind? Now, in that you're listening to this, I hope it's something positive, or maybe you just tuned in because you love to hate me. Well, that's okay because I don't have a need to be loved by strangers. But when you think of Dr. Phil, I'll bet you don't confuse me with anybody else. Now, there are other psychologists out there, other shrinks out there, other mental health professionals, but I'll bet you don't confuse me with any of them. And I'll guarantee you, there are psychologists in America that have forgotten more psychology than I'll ever know, but they forgot about learning how to communicate it. I've got some of them on my advisory board because I'll call them up. It will be something really complex or whatever, and I think, okay, I want to make sure that I've got this right. I want to make sure I've got the cutting edge information. Some of these men and women are the editors of the peer review journals. So I know they've got access to research that won't be published for another 18 months. So I don't give cutting edge information, I give ahead of cutting edge information. What research has shown that you can get from Dr. Phil that you won't see in the journals for another year and a half. So I'm talking about OCD, believe me. I've got up to the minute information because I talk to people that know more about it than I do. There are some people that spend their entire career on that one disorder. I don't, but I know who does. So I bring these experts in. Now, when I say you're not going to confuse me with anybody else, there are people out there like John Gray. John Gray wrote Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, or whatever the title of it was. I know John, very nice guy, a lot of wisdom, but you're not going to confuse the two of us because he's going to pat your hand and tell you it's going to be okay and why. And he's very effective at what he does, but we're very different, very different. You're not going to confuse me with him or him with me. I believe in a defined product. And look, you may think my defined product is I'm a barbarian. You may think I'm the second coming of common sense. And you're probably both a little bit right. But you don't confuse me, and that's what I want you to decide. What is it about you that's unique? What is it about you that sets you apart from the rest of the herd? If you want to win, you're going to have to be aggressive. The meek shall inherit the earth. But as the old joke goes, who will step up to claim it? The meek may inherit it, but none among them will step up to claim it. I want you to step up and claim it. And that's number 4. Learn to claim and accept praise and acknowledge it in a gracious way, but do accept it. Now, think about that. Every strategy you embrace, every action plan you execute should be designed to distinguish you in a positive way, right? I mean, you want to get noticed, you want to get ahead. I said you want to come up with an image that distinguishes you through your uniqueness, and you want to play big. That means you want to make waves, you want to make noise, you want people to notice you. And when they do, you're going to get praised. Maybe it's in your career, maybe it's in your family, maybe it's in your social circles, romantic relationships, whatever it is, but people are going to step up and praise you. Why is it that most people have a problem accepting compliments? Why is it that when somebody gets praised, somebody gets acknowledged, somebody gets the just rewards of everything they've worked to achieve, the typical response is, "Aw, shucks, weren't nothing," and dig their toe in the carpet like, "Oh, no, don't mention it, don't mention it." What the hell you mean, "Don't mention it"? I've been working 6 months to get noticed here. Yes, do mention it. Mention it to everybody you know. Tell everybody you know what I did. You don't want to be one of those people that shies away from what you have earned. If you have earned the right to be praised, if you have earned the right to be acknowledged, then you need to graciously accept that. And for some reason, we have been taught humility. We shouldn't be embracing praise and acknowledgement. And I told you this isn't for the squeamish because I'm telling you, you absolutely should. Humility is great in certain times, in certain circumstances. But when you are on the move in your life, in your career, in whatever it is you're pursuing, and you are upwardly mobile, why wouldn't you graciously accept the compliment or the invitation to move to the next level? And I can only think of two reasons. One, you've been taught it's prideful and narcissistic to seek attention, so you shun it when it comes. Or two, you really don't believe you deserve it. You just really don't think that you've earned it. You don't believe you've deserved it. Well, let me remove that first obstacle right now. It is not prideful. It's not egotistical to accept, claim, or expect praise. And I say expect because you teach people how to treat you. And when you do a job well, then you need to teach people that you expect to be acknowledged for it. And if you don't do a job well, then you should expect people to say, hey, that was not up to par. You need to step up your game. You don't want to be lied to. If you want to succeed in this world, you need honest feedback, right? You need people to tell you the truth, or you're going to continue this trend toward mediocrity or worse. You need to choose to respond differently when someone praises you or confirms your value. So, how about simply learning and practicing to say somebody praises you? They come up and say, hey, I just got to tell you, you did a really good job on this project. And you may think it's gracious to say, oh, no, listen, it was nothing. How about instead saying, thank you for saying that? You are really kind to notice. Is that prideful? Is that egotistical? Is that narcissistic? Is that obnoxious? Is it obnoxious for you to say, thank you for saying that? You're very kind to notice. Or that means so much coming from you. So thank you for noticing and thank you for taking the time to say so. Does that seem obnoxious? If you're in a personal or romantic situation, you can reciprocate at the level of comment that you received. It is always safe to begin with a straightforward, thank you for your kind words, and then add any specific reaction that you want to. The second obstacle, if you don't believe that you deserve the credit or praise, then let me assure you, others will soon begin to agree with you. Because anybody that's truly evaluating a person's worth, value, skills, and abilities In their heart of hearts, they're going to say, they know themselves better than I do. So who am I to second guess them? They've known themselves since the day they were born. And they seem to know that they're not very smart, they're not very good, they're kinda lazy, and they don't really have ownership in the good outcome here. So who am I to second guess them? They're going to defer to you eventually. They may not say it to your face, but I can promise you they're eventually gonna say it to themselves. If you lack self-confidence, if you lack self-worth, like I said, you teach people how to treat you, pretty soon, they're going to agree with you. I hear you, doc, but where's the line? I mean, does that make you a self-promoter? Yeah, probably so. But if even you won't promote yourself, why would anybody else? I do Dr. Phil every day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. People ask me, "Is this worth watching?" What do you think I say? "Oh, I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just something to do. I don't know." You think that's what I say? Absolutely not. I say, "I absolutely believe it's worth watching." We really work to destigmatize mental illness in America. We give people common sense information delivered to their homes every day for free. And I think, in fact, that it is the highest and best use of television. Is that self promoting? I hope so, because I intend to promote what I do because I believe in what I do. And if somebody sees me on the street and they come up and say, "Dr. Phil, I just love your show. I love your message." I say, "Thank you. Thank you for saying that because we take it real seriously. It's great to hear from you that you take time out of your day to watch. That means a lot." Why would you not do the same thing in your own life? And I'm asking you to do that because that's one of the things winners do.